Before we begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever watched your bank balance vanish on the very day you sent money to your own child, only to realize in that split second you're not a parent in their eyes, but an endless cash machine? I feel the cool weight of my phone in my hand as I see the $3,000 debit notification flash across the screen, and for a heartbeat, my heart stops. It isn't the amount, it's the betrayal. I'm not a loving mother anymore. I'm their family ATM. This is not just a story, it's my life. Everything changes the moment their group chat title appears. Family ATM, open 24/7. If you've ever poured your heart and your savings into family only to discover you were just a source of funds, stay with me, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? I wake to the gentle rustle of lace curtains brushing against the window frame. Dawn light, pale and trembling, filters into the room, casting soft shadows over the quilt my husband and I chose together nearly 30 years ago. I breathe in, tasting the faint sweetness of chamomile still lingering in the air from last night's tea, and I settle deeper into the mattress for a moment, savoring the quiet. My name is Linda Harper. I'm 60 years old, and every corner of this house, its creaking floorboards, its sunflower yellow kitchen tiles, its worn leather armchair, carries a memory of him. For 35 years I was a school administrator, and order was my creed. I advised fledgling teachers on lesson plans, mediated heated staff meetings with a calm voice, and ensured every student felt seen. My office smelled of pine-scented sanitizer and fresh printer paper. Here at home, I surround myself with the soft fragrance of lavender from a diffuser perched on the hallway table. I like consistency. I like routines. I like knowing that when I step into the garden to tend my pansies or flip open the latest historical novel on the living room sofa, the world outside can spin however it likes. Inside these walls, I hold the reins. Since Tom died 3 years ago, this house has become my refuge. I spend mornings in the garden, hands buried in damp soil, coaxing pansies and snapdragons to bloom. The earth feels cool against my fingertips, alive, and it reminds me that life persists in cycles of growth, even after loss. Afternoons find me at the public library, shelving new arrivals or leading a small book club in the community room. I delight in the way readers' eyes light up when I recommend a hidden gem. Evenings, I'm curled on the leather armchair, knitting tiny sweaters for my granddaughter, Ella. Her laughter, bright, unguarded, echoes across FaceTime calls, brightening the dusk that gathers outside my windows. I cultivate calm in these rituals. My home is my sanctuary. Every cushion is fluffed just so. Every teacup, delicate bone china, rose-patterned, has its place. I refuse to let disorder creep in, because if the world is unpredictable, at least I can control this. When David and Emily graduated from college 2 years ago, I watched them cross the stage with pride so fierce it nearly knocked the breath out of me. But their celebration was followed by the sobering reality of the housing market. Rent skyrocketed. Down payments felt impossible. So I sold a small vacation condo Tom and I had rented each summer and took the proceeds straight to their lender. I handed them the keys to a modest 3-bedroom home, maple hardwood floors, a backyard where Ella can chase butterflies. Their tears of gratitude were the best investment I've ever made. Last spring, Emily enrolled in a demanding master's program. Between tuition, rent for her 1-bedroom near campus, and groceries, the costs quickly outpaced their combined incomes. When she called to say, "Mom, could you help me with living expenses?" I didn't hesitate. I set up an automatic $3,000 transfer on the first of every month. Tuition, rent, utilities, groceries, anything they needed. I remember logging into my banking app for the first time and smiling at the confirmation screen. Transfer to D. Harper, $3,000. Completed. My chest swelled. I pictured them studying late into the night, cups of coffee at their elbows, secure in the knowledge that Mom had their backs. To me, it's not just financial support. It's an extension of the love Tom and I built our family on. I see their future. Emily walking across another stage with her master's diploma. David advancing at his firm. Ella growing up in a home full of laughter. I invest in their dreams as eagerly as I once invested in my own students. Each morning, I abide by a ritual. I wake at 5:45, slip into slippers, and carry a steaming cup of Earl Grey to the kitchen. The kettle whistles at precisely 6 o'clock. I prepare a simple breakfast, a soft-boiled egg, sourdough toast, and fresh berries, then sit at the small round table by the window and read the newspaper's front-page headlines. The world beyond often bristles with chaos. Budget debates, international skirmishes, weather warnings. But here, in that moment, I am calm. By 7 o'clock, I shower, dress in pastel cardigans and tailored slacks, and stroll into the garden with pruning shears in hand. I talk to my plants. "Good morning, my beauties," I murmur, and they flourish under my care. Afterwards, I either head to the library for my volunteer shift or settle at my writing desk, drafting letters to friends, jotting ideas in my journal about a memoir I've longed to write. I pepper each entry with thanks, gratitude for health, for memories, for the privilege of giving. I believe generosity is the purest form of legacy building. But recently that faith has felt brittle. I notice subtle shifts. One month, Emily texts, "Mom, rent doubled. Could you send $3,500 this time?" I tap OK before thinking. My heart aches to smooth their path. The next morning, I call the bank's customer service line to increase the transfer limit. Their voice crackles with chipper efficiency. Mine tightens with worry. I begin to catch myself, sighing as I watch the progress bar inch toward completion, pausing over the confirm button, heart fluttering. David's "Thanks, Mom" is delivered tersely over a rushed lunch break. Emily's phone goes dark for hours after I send the money. I wonder whether the delay is technical or something else. I glance at their social media feeds. Weekend brunches at chic cafes, new shoes and glossy photos, sparkling wine and slender flutes. I feel a ping of unease. Is their comfort built on the foundation of my savings? I swallow a lump of guilt and push it down, reminding myself, I want them to thrive. From the outside, friends say I'm so generous and lucky to be able to help. But I'm starting to feel like the axis on which their world spins, not out of love, but out of necessity. I wonder whether this generosity has quietly shifted roles. I'm now more benefactor than mother. And then, yesterday, that moment I'll never forget, happened. I settle at the table with my morning tea and open my banking app. I watch $3,000 transfer completed scroll across the screen. A comfort chime. My chest relaxes. Until a second notification pops up. Group chat renamed Family ATM, open 24/7. Time slows. I hold the phone in both hands, the edges digging into my palms. My eyes trace the words again. The lavender diffuser's scent grows too sharp, the distant hum of traffic outside too loud. My world tilts. In an instant, I realize that my sanctuary, this house built on routines and quiet care, might shift beneath my feet. I taste the aftertaste of tea on my tongue and wonder how something as simple as generosity could have become a weapon. And so, with the sky darkening outside and that cruel notification burning on my screen, I understand. Everything I believed about family, support, and my own worth is about to change. I freeze in the kitchen doorway, the afternoon sun painting the floor in ragged stripes, as the words linger on my screen. Group chat renamed Family ATM open 24/7. My tea is forgotten, its steam long vanished, and I feel a cold knot tighten in my stomach. My heart pounds so loudly, I'm sure the pans on the stove will rattle. I slip the phone into my pocket and push away from the counter. In the living room, the garden light drapes across the rug. I pace, bare feet soft on wool, each step a question. How did I get here? My mind flashes back to 2 nights ago when Emily's voice woke me at 1 in the morning, urgent, tremulous, demanding. "Mom, Wi-Fi went out. I need $120 to cover a hotspot plan or I can't finish my assignment." I stumbled out of bed, chastising myself for trading sleep for their convenience, and tapped transfer. My chest ached, but I told myself I was helping. That night, insomnia crept in, coils of worry tightening around my thoughts. I sat in the dark living room, the lavender diffuser's glow blinking at me like a mocking eye. I scrolled through old photos, Emily's first day of kindergarten, David's graduation, every smile a testament to years of love, and now overshadowed by this new reality. I pressed my palms to my face and wondered whether generosity had become entitlement in their hands. The next morning, I joined Mrs. Alvarez for coffee on the front porch. She's my neighbor and confidant, sharp-eyed, kindly. Over chipped mugs of cappuccino, she asked why my smile felt muted. I forced a laugh and said everything was fine. But as soon as I returned inside, my phone chirped. "Mom, garage rent tripled. They gave us until tomorrow. Can you send $400? I sank onto the sofa, breath trembling, and deleted the notification without replying. By midday, guilt gnawed at me. I opened my banking app and tapped through the familiar menu. $400, confirm, done. The click of the final button echoed too loud in the quiet room. I wanted to feel relief. Instead, I felt hollow. That afternoon, I overhear David on a call through the thin wall. "Yeah, Grandma Bank came through again." His words are casual, tossed off like scraps of conversation. I set down the tea towel I'm folding. The steaming cup on the counter suddenly looks absurd, too fragile to hold my tremors. Later that week, at the library's volunteer meeting, Jean from the book club corners me. She touches my arm. "Linda, you look tired." Her voice is a velvety whisper. I smile and say I'm just busy. But when I get home, a text from Emily pings. "Mom, rent's paid. Thanks. Oh, and the electric bill this month is $220. Can you cover it?" I stare at the message, the space between thanks and oh stretching wider than any thank you should. I catch a glimpse of their social media stories, Emily lounging poolside at a gym sauna, posting sunglasses-clad selfies, David tagging his coworkers in a photo of a catered office party. My breath catches in my throat, their ease, their laughter, their world swirling around them, funded by me. One evening, I summon the courage to speak. We're on a family video call. I clear my throat. "I've been sending extra lately. Are you both managing okay?" Emily's face morphs into surprise. "Mom, we love the help, but everything's fine, really." David nods. "Don't worry about us." Their calm feels like dismissal. I swallow. "I just want to make sure you're—" David cuts me off with a brisk wave. "We're professionals, Mom. We have it under control." I force a smile and say, "Okay." I end the call and slump at my desk, the chair creaking beneath me. My hands tremble as I close the laptop. That night, I lie awake listening to the tick of the hallway clock. Each second stretches, taut and unforgiving. My phone buzzes at 2:13 a.m. "Mom, my thesis printing jammed, $75 to cover the print shop." I stare at the dark ceiling. My heart aches with a dull, steady pulse. I wipe a tear and reply, "Done." Then I put the phone aside and let the tears come. In the following days, the asks become more creative. "Can you front $250 for groceries?" "Mind if I use your Costco membership for bulk orders?" "I'm low on gas, $60? Every request arrives with a casual tone, as though I'm a bottomless account and not their mother. Each tap of send reverberates through my chest, a gavel pronouncing my own sacrifice. One afternoon, I visit their home unannounced, hoping to reclaim my own sense of agency. I knock softly, clutching a plate of baklava I painstakingly rolled that morning. The door swings open. I smile. Emily's eyes flick to the plate, then to the hallway. "Mom, funny, did you need something?" David emerges from the living room, phone in hand. He peers at me. "We're about to grab lunch. Can you come back later?" I feel the plate grow heavier in my hands. "I just wanted to bring you—" Emily cuts me off. "Thanks, Mom. Really appreciate it, but we're busy." I turn to leave, shoulders bowed. As I step onto their stoop, my phone buzzes with a notification I didn't see coming. Emily. Did you see Mom's balance after I cashed that $2K check? She's our personal piggy bank. I stop cold. The world tilts. My vision swims with images of every deposit I've made, every dollar I've relinquished. The plate of baklava slips from my grip and shatters on the concrete, syrup and pastry splattering like wounded petals. I kneel, breath coming in ragged gulps. The sticky mess under my hands smells sweet, mocking. I taste bile at the back of my throat. My knees press into rough stone. I imagine they might break from the force of shock. Tears blur my vision as I dial David's number on tremulous fingers. It rings twice, 3 times. Then voicemail. Hey, Mom, can't talk right now. Leave a message. I close my eyes and whisper, No, I can't do this anymore. I press end and sit back on the step. The sun is sinking. Evening light pools around me, warm and indifferent. I feel unmoored, adrift between love and resentment, compassion and self-preservation. Then, a soft chime. A new message. Not from Emily or David, but a group chat I never belonged to. I tap the notification. The title glares at me one last time. Family ATM, open for business 24/7. My chest tightens. This single line, a cruel epitaph to my generosity, strikes the spark that will ignite everything. I wake the next morning to a low hum of traffic outside, but the sound fades beneath the pounding in my skull. My chin rests against the back of the kitchen chair. The envelope with my truth lies unopened on the table beside my cold tea. Dawn light slants in, too bright, too accusing. My phone sits on the counter, face down, still showing the group chat title that feels like a brand burned into my mind. Family ATM, open 24/7. My hands tremble as I lift the phone. The title stares back, cruel and mocking. I swipe to open the chat. Each message is a fresh betrayal. GIFs of dollar signs raining down, memes of Scrooge McDuck belly flopping into gold, polls asking if they should request more money. I scroll through dozens of lines, each one worse than the last. My breath catches, my vision swirls. A wave of nausea rises in my throat. I shove the phone aside and push back from the table. My legs buckle beneath me. I slump to the floor, back against the chair. The envelope teeters on the tabletop. Everything feels surreal, as though I'm witnessing someone else's story. But the ache in my chest, the sinking in my gut, they're undeniably mine. I close my eyes. In the dimmed world behind my lids, memories swirl. David's first steps in that very living room, Emily's shy grin when I handed her a bouquet of daisies on her college graduation. I see my own hands, gently guiding them, supporting them, loving them unconditionally. Every tender moment now tainted by their laughter at my expense. A stifled sob escapes me. I press my palms to my eyes, willing the tears away, but they come in spite of me. My blouse sticks to the small of my back. The air smells faintly of lavender and old paper. I taste that scent like dust on my tongue. I force myself upright and stumble into the living room. The wedding portrait of Tom and me hangs above the mantel, our faces young, hopeful, clasped hands radiating promise. I feel a sudden urge to rip it down, to erase every image of love from this house. But I stop. My fingers hover at the frame's edge. Instead, I let my fingertips rest against the glass and draw in a shuddering breath. A tear slides down my cheek and splatters on the polished wood of the mantel. The journal where I once scribed joyous reflections lies open on the coffee table. I flip through pages filled with gratitude lists, thankful for Ella's laughter, for David's hugs, for Emily's ambition. I can scarcely read them now. What was I celebrating when I wrote those words? My naivete stings like salt on an open wound. I close the journal and pick up the envelope at last. My handwriting curls across the front. My truth. My hands are steadier than I feel. I set it on the sofa cushion and sink beside it, breathing in the soft fabric's familiar comfort. My laptop beckons on the side table. I open it and stare at the blank white screen. A cursor blinks, unyielding. I cradle my forehead in my palms, the crease between my brows deepening. Words swirl in my mind: anger, sorrow, disbelief, but will they translate into sentences sharp enough to cut through the haze of betrayal? I begin typing, each letter a hammer strike. I opened my heart and gave you every resource I had. I believed in your dreams. I trusted you to treat my generosity with gratitude, not mockery. My throat tightens, the words tangling in my chest. I pause, delete, and rewrite. I read it aloud in a choked whisper, then silence. The cursor blinks. I stand abruptly, chair scraping across the rug. My gaze lands on the mantel again. Tom's portrait. I snatch a photograph from the frame. Emily, as a toddler, wrapped in Tom's arms. The image is golden, sunlit, innocent. I press it to my heart and close my eyes. Why? I whisper to the empty room. Why did you betray me? The question hangs unanswered as I pace the length of the living room. I feel every bruise on my soul, every thorn of regret. I sink to my knees by the coffee table and gather the photographs into a trembling stack. Wedding photos, graduation snapshots, beach trip Polaroids. I flip through them, each one a testament to days when laughter wasn't weaponized, when love was given freely and returned. I take the stack to the window and hold them up to the light. The morning sun streams through, illuminating each face, mine included. I realize that I've been clinging too tightly to their versions of happiness, the perfect marriage, the dream career, the thriving granddaughter's laughter. But those visions belonged to me. They owed me no allegiance. A sharp knock at the front door jolts me from my reverie. My chest tightens. I haven't summoned anyone. My pulse thrums in my ears as I call, "Who is it?" No answer. The knock comes again, more urgent. I set the photographs down and approach the door, each step weighted by dread. I glance through the peephole. It's nobody I recognize, a messenger in a blue jacket, holding a padded envelope. Relief and disappointment wash through me. I open the door. The messenger offers a polite nod and hands me the package. I close the door and set it on the console. The envelope is unmarked, no return address. I trace my fingers along the seam. My heart flutters. Inside, I find a single sheet of paper cardstock heavy with significance. A wedding invitation. It's addressed to me, in Emily's looping script, for a vow renewal ceremony next month, my 25th wedding anniversary to Tom. The card is embossed with delicate filigree and reads, "Linda and Thomas Harper, 25 years of love. Please join us as we celebrate your journey and renew the vows you brought us up to cherish." Tears spring unbidden. A part of me wants to tear it up. Another part aches to believe in their affection again. I tuck the invitation into my journal and close it firmly. Evening falls and I'm still at my desk, the laptop open before me. The letter I began earlier still needs finishing, but tonight the words feel sharper, truer. You treated my kindness as currency to be spent and mocked. You forgot that behind every dollar was a mother who believed in you, no more. I reread it, make small edits, then save the draft. The truth pulses on the screen in black and white. I'm not sure I'll send it tonight. Perhaps waiting until I've reread and refined it will feel more controlled, but I can't go back to ignorance now. I close the laptop with deliberate finality. My reflection shimmers on the dark screen. A woman aged by loss and betrayal, but unbowed. The morning's betrayal still aches, but beneath it lies a new resolve. I will reclaim my worth, one boundary at a time. I slip into the kitchen and pour myself a glass of water. The cool liquid steadies me. I hold the invitation in one hand, the glass in the other. I take a sip, then carefully tuck the invitation into my cardigan pocket. Tomorrow I will feed the pansies. I will knit another sweater for Ella. I will go to the library and lead the book club discussion. And eventually, I will decide when and how to confront them. For now, I stand in the quiet kitchen, the weight of family ATM lifted slightly by the dawn of my own awakening. I understand that words, true, unfiltered words, will be my next step toward healing. I wake before dawn again, but this time the darkness feels like an ally. The house is hushed, no hint of last night's storm. I pad barefoot to the kitchen, where the invitation to my vow renewal ceremony sits beside yesterday's teacup. I breathe in the cool, pre-dawn air and sip water from the faucet. My reflection in the window pane peeks back at me, hollow-eyed, determined. I carry my laptop to the dining table and open the draft I saved. You treated my kindness as currency to be spent and mocked. My fingers hover above the keyboard. I hesitate. Pain still lingers in every word, but I know honesty is the only path forward. I add 2 sentences. If you wish to call me Mom again, prove you understand what that means. I close the document and slide the laptop aside. I stand and walk to the mantel, where Tom's wedding portrait watches me. I reach up and adjust the frame, straightening it with a finality I haven't felt in weeks. Then I settle behind the laptop again and open my email client. I address the message to both Emily and David. My thumb trembles as I hit send. The screen blinks, message sent. My chest tightens, but this time it's anticipation, not dread. 2 hours later, my phone buzzes. An email reply. I open it with cautious hope. It's from Emily. Mom, I've read your email 3 times. My heart aches. I'm so sorry. Can we talk tonight at 6? I exhale, relief and apprehension mingling like storm clouds and sunlight. I type back, yes. Our home. 6. The minutes stretch. I set the table for dinner. Just 2 plates, a pot roast, slow cooking in the oven, roasted carrots glistening with honey, mashed potatoes whipped creamy. I light a single white candle. Its flame shivers, as though unsure whether it's welcome. At exactly 6, there's a knock. I open the door and find Emily standing there, eyes rimmed pink. She carries a small bouquet of daisies, my favorite. Behind her, David clenches and unclenches his hands, guilt etched in every line of his face. I step aside. Come in. They enter quietly. The living room smells of rosemary and thyme from the roast. I guide them toward the dining room. Emily's gaze flicks to the invitation on the sideboard. Her lip trembles. David averts his eyes. We sit. Silence hangs thick as gravy. I pour water into 3 glasses and set one in front of them. Then I place the invitation between us. Emily glances at it. I wanted, she begins, voice cracking. I hold up a finger. First, I want to hear you apologize, out loud. My voice is steady. Emily swallows. She straightens her shoulders. Mom, I am so sorry. I treated your generosity like an unlimited resource. I mocked it. I mocked you. I felt entitled and Tears spill down her cheeks. She chokes on the words. I feel ashamed. David's voice is soft. Mom, He looks at the invitation. I never stopped being grateful, but I stopped showing it. I forgot what you gave up so we could have a home. I forgot that behind every transfer was love. They both reach for my hands. Their touch is tentative, hungry for reassurance. I close my eyes and breathe in their sincerity. I pull away gently. Thank you. That means everything. I pick up the invitation and hand it to Emily. I want you both there, not just as my family, but as my friends. Will you stand with me as I renew my vows to your father? She nods through tears. David squeezes her hand. We'd be honored. A new warmth blooms in my chest. I guide them to the table, where the roast is perfectly tender. We eat in companionable silence for a moment, forks clinking, soft sighs of relief. Then Emily clears her throat. Mom, I started a savings account, she says, voice small. I've put aside $500 this month. I want to pay back what I've taken. Each month I'll contribute more until I've returned every cent. My throat tightens. Their gestures go beyond words. They are actions. I nod, tears pricking. That's a good start. David lifts his glass. To boundaries, honesty, and family. I raise mine. To respect and love. We sip, the candles glow, dancing across their faces. I realize that generosity is not a one-way street. It's a bridge we build together. Over the next weeks, they follow through. Emily brings me weekly updates on her savings. David asks permission before any expense. I receive receipts for grocery runs and tuition payments. They invite me to their home more often, game nights, movie marathons, even a spontaneous Sunday brunch. I find myself laughing again, genuine and unguarded. The day of the vow renewal arrives. I stand in my garden at sunset, the daisies Emily brought framing the path. My dress, a soft blue I wore on our 20th anniversary, catches the waning light. I feel a gentle breeze carrying the scent of lavender and earth. I hear voices behind me. Emily, David, and a small gathering of friends. I turn to see Emily and David stepping onto the lawn. They stand beside me, flanking my sides. Emily holds the ring I once gave her, now hers to return. David hands me a single daisy. I smile, heart full. I recite my vows to Tom's empty seat, voice strong. I promise to honor love each day, to respect boundaries, to cherish those I hold dear. Tears sparkle in Emily's eyes. David's throat moves as he swallows. When I finish, they each step forward to place daisies in my hands, a circle of trust and renewal. That evening, as twilight softens into night, we gather around a small table. Emily has baked her first batch of lemon bars. David pressed fresh coffee. We sit beneath lanterns, sharing stories and laughter that feel richer than any gift I ever gave. Later, I walk back into my home, my sanctuary, and everything feels brighter. The ache of betrayal still whispers in my memory, but it's muted now by the chorus of healing. I place the invitation and letter on my bedside table, tokens of a journey from hurt to hope. I open my phone and compose a new post for my channel. Have you ever had to reclaim your worth from those you love? Here's how I found my voice and my boundaries. I attach a photo of the vow renewal daisies glowing in the garden. As I type publish, I hear a soft knock at my door. Ella, my granddaughter, slips inside, yawning. She clutches a stuffed bunny. "Nana," she whispers, "will you read me a story?" I scoop her into my arms. Her warmth, her trust, unconditional, reminds me of why I fight for respect. I tuck her under my arm and head to the living room, the door closing softly behind us. I have my boundaries. I have my family's renewed vow of respect. And the road ahead winds toward new growth, just like my garden in spring. Thank you for following my story. If you've ever stood up for yourself in love, share your journey in the comments. And if kindness deserves respect, please subscribe. I'm not just your family ATM, I'm your friend.